Good morning, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on. I have been extremely busy over the last couple weeks. Um, Not sure how this image is looking right now. It's kind of weird, a little surreal. But anyway, I've been building this house and I've got a job, some other stuff. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you guys about Bitcoin, what's happening, what you can expect. I'm starting to get some people to ask me questions about, oh, hey, did you see how it went up to $10,000? And yeah, I told you guys that it was going to go to 10,000 before the end of December, and it moved even faster than I expected. Um, The thing to recognize is that there are almost no users yet. There's so few, percentage wise, the number of people that are involved is very, very small. It hasn't even really hit the early adopter phase that's coming. Um, and the thing to recognize is that now is really the time to get involved. It's an amazing opportunity. So, having some coffee here. So it went to 9,000, and then the next day was at 10,000, and the following day tapped 11,000 and then came back down. For anybody that's brand new to this world, this is going to be gut wrenching. Let's say you buy some Bitcoin, and you get in at 10,000, it goes to 11, and then back down to 9. You just feel like you just lost $1,000. So my advice to you is don't watch the daily. Don't watch the daily price, because what happens is, um, on the exchanges they're reporting every few seconds. So here, let me tilt this just a little bit and see if I can adjust that a little. Anyway, they report every few seconds, and so you have somebody that's like trying to manipulate something or doing something, and they'll sell some Bitcoin, like a little piece, like $5 worth of Bitcoin on the exchange for less than the actual value, like the rest of the market value. And so that gets recorded as the value of Bitcoin. No, it's not actually. So what you have to do is you have to look at the trend line and look at the actual graph of, like, well, what's the depth of those trades at that value, right? And you're going to see where the depth of the trades is actually more of the value, right? So that being said, okay, it's a lot of data, and I'm going to do a video that's like just an entry, how you get started, and basically I wanted to talk a little bit about how you get started. Um, there is a delay to entry, because especially in the US, there's only a few websites that will actually deal with US citizens. Um, that's an indicator that our regulators, or the powers that be, the corporations that have the most control, are really trying to hold on to control. And Bitcoin is an opportunity for us to have liberty with money, with our own, like, energy of exchange. So, and note, I didn't use the word freedom, because I'll talk about that later. But freedom is a slave's word, and it always has this looming threat of loss, that you could lose that freedom. Whereas liberty is not that, and we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so what you need to do is there are several different ways to get Bitcoin, or Litecoin, or Ethereum. You can go directly onto Genesis. It takes a little bit longer to get your account approved. You have to prove who you are and all this other stuff. But the fees are a little bit lower. But that was started by the Winklevoss twins, who are the ones that, like, claimed that Zuckerberg stole their idea or whatever. But they have a website that helps, so that you can get some Bitcoin. Taking advantage of an opportunity, I don't begrudge them that, because I would have done the same thing. Like, I would have liked to have done the same thing, but you know. So I'm just a guy out there, and I've been around Bitcoin since 2012 or so, and I've met a lot of different people, and I've been investigating and watching and like dabbling and reading and reading and reading and watching tons and tons and tons of videos and looking at trends and been trading myself for the last 3 or 4 years. So I have some experience, and I know what has been working. I know what has worked for me and what has worked for people that I've been working with. So one of the things that I like is called a paper wallet. Now, I'm going to show you the public key for this paper wallet, and feel free to scan this and put some Bitcoin on here, because that's all you can do with a public key. But anyway, so the public, this one actually doesn't have anything on it, but the public key is on this side, and then on the other side where I have it folded, as you can see, it's like folded, and then under here is the private key. I don't actually have any Bitcoin on this one, but you're welcome to put some on here if you want. The private key is actually back here, and when you want to take the Bitcoin off, you can use an app with your phone. I like my Celium wallet because it's just been consistent for me. But you just scan the QR code, which is what this is, the QR code of the public or the private key, and tell it to send it to another address. I use 2 phones for that. And like when I took the Bitcoin Cash, or just actually yesterday I took the Bitcoin Gold off. I took the Bitcoins. There was 5.5 on that, and I moved it over to my phone, but that took like 3 hours, and I'll talk about that too. I moved that over to my phone, and then I moved that back over onto a paper wallet, and that way it leaves the Bitcoin Gold on the old paper wallet. And then I was able to take a different app, a Coinomi app, and pull that onto the Coinomi app, and then send that to an exchange, so that I can do something, because I'm not really that interested in the Bitcoin Gold yet, but it is it's there, so I might as well take it and put it on the exchange and do something that I want to do with it, buy some Ethereum or something like that. So right now, fairly amazing, is Bitcoin's still at 10,000, which it'll stay right around there. It might fluctuate $1,000 up or down, but it'll stay right around 10,000 for at least a couple of weeks. The new growth is going to start. It's going to go up. It'll go up to 12,000 ish and be like fairly stable around 12, 13,000, somewhere between 12 and 13,000 come like February is my prediction. But so Bitcoin's going to keep going up. Literally, like, could be like $40,000 by August next year. I need to see a little bit more like what's happening and how fast things are going, and I can make some more predictions after the first of the year. But Ethereum, Litecoin, Dash is at $800 right now. Now I know that there's going to be a resettle of Dash, and I'm just telling you, like, I really like Dash. It's one of my favorites as far as like an exchange, commodity of exchange. It's a really good, the group of people that are working on Dash are just really, they're just a great bunch of folks. They literally integrated paying the developers in the blockchain itself. They literally, they have a system of voting, and it's just a really nice democratic system. And it's a fast network and all those things. But I think that there's going to be something. I have some information from a source that there's going to be something that'll happen, and Dash is going to go down, but not until a particular temporal marker occurs. And it's not going to really seem like it's connected, but there's something that I'm watching for, and I'll tell you when you should sell off your Dash. But in the meantime, I think Dash is going to go to 1,000. But there's something, and it's a political thing that I'm watching for. So when that happens, I'll tell you, and it's like, okay, time to sell your Dash. But we have some. We have quite a bit, and we like it. Litecoin is definitely going to go up and stay over $100. It may go to $500 over the next year. Ethereum's going to be, it's gone up to like consistently $500, like 460, 470, like riding right around that $500 range, and it's going to get onto and stay over the $500 range, and it's going to continue going up. I like Ethereum for because I like EtherDelta. I like to trade on this purely decentralized exchange, which is a peer-to-peer exchange. It's a little non-intuitive and it's a little difficult. You got to kind of be a nerd to figure it out, or geek or whatever. You have to be, you figure it out. You got to be tech savvy to figure that one out. And I might do a tutorial video on that. I need to get this little house finished so that I can actually set up my studio system and everything here. But I've been pretty busy lately, what with a new baby and all that. So Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Dash is pretty good. There's a few other things, but the key thing is this. Think of Bitcoin as like a savings. Like, this is where your savings account is, and you just keep like a 401k. You just keep popping money in there, and like $20 a week or whatever. Like, when you get paid, take a small piece and buy some Bitcoin. Once you get a Coinbase or a Genesis account, either one's fine. But like, just pop it in there and then move it over to a paper wallet. And paper wallets are really simple. There's many videos on how to do a paper wallet. I like the one that's just a website that you get the zip file, and you download it, and then you open it up, and it opens like a website with Firefox or whatever. But you keep it offline because that's like what's called an air gap. So you don't want to do it online, because if somebody's hacked your whatever, it's just safer, more secure to do it offline with an air gap. Put it on a paper wallet and then store that somewhere where you can protect a piece of paper, because that piece of paper now has whatever value you have on it, and you can keep putting money on it just by scanning the QR code and popping it on there. So like, you can download the Bitcoin from your Coinbase account to your phone, and then just pop that onto your paper wallet, or you can just download it directly to the paper wallet. And it's a wallet. It's not an account with some company that's going to protect you. You have to protect yourself. This is not like what you're used to, which is all these regulations and corporations that are protecting and moving things around for you and protect, all this other nonsense, which you have to pay for. You get percentages of your money taken away every time you move it, or every time something happens and you want a service. You have to pay for that service, and there are many, 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 many layers of corporations that are between your actual money, your actual exchange, and what you're trying to do. So it's just unnecessary. Protect your own stuff. Be smart about it. Keep things on a paper wallet offline, so you can't be hacked. And even if something happens to the electricity or whatever, it's still there. As soon as the internet goes back up or whatever, Bitcoin's still going to be there, and your account, that wallet, that address is still going to be valid. So all that being said, take whatever you've got, put it into Bitcoin, because it's going to continue to grow. Now, if you want to do like an increase of your accounts and trade, think of it like stock trading, because there are a lot of different companies out there that are offering what they call a token, which is like a portion of value of what they're doing. So you get a piece of the value of what they're doing by buying some of their tokens, and they're exchangeable on these different currency exchanges. And it's very much like working on the Forex or the foreign exchange. And I'll do some more videos about that. But so Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash is fairly good, but those are just like some of the the primaries that we all know. There's a lot of other little ones, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about those, because I don't want to give you like a finance prediction and then have you go buy it and then hold it, and then it goes down, and then it's like, oh, but Rob, I'm not giving you financial advice, but it does have to do with money. And if you don't have it, then you don't have it. And like, literally, I watched Bitcoin go from like $500 when I bought this house. I bought a house for 12 Bitcoin back when it was only like $500-600. Literally, it was amazing. We bought the house for $7,000, including closing costs. Um, but now I look at it, and that was 12 Bitcoin, which is $10,000 a coin now. So, how good a deal did I really get? But anyway, um, so that's that's the way it goes. So it went from $600, $800, up to $10,000 in a 12-month period. Um, that same kind of growth is going to happen again. May not happen this year. It could happen in 2019, but it very well could go 10x again, like the whole system. So pay attention. Keep your eye on what you're doing. Be smart. Get some Bitcoin. Get some of these other currencies. Store them on a paper wallet. Watch the news for. There's political agendas, and I don't want to make this video too long because it's already like 16 minutes. But there's political agendas that are being represented on the major news stream. And if you haven't gotten that already, and you think I'm a conspiracy theorist, just click off right now and delete my video account, because you're not going to get what I'm talking about anyway. There are corporations that run and own the major news media, and they're representing the interests of the people that hold the primary stock in those companies. And the interests of the people that hold primary stock in those companies, which are sending you information, true or false, it doesn't matter. It's still data, and they have an interest in what they're saying, and they're saying what they're told to say, and it may be blatant lies, and propaganda, which by definition is just like political views, and like censoring the opposing information is propaganda. So you're going to get a lot of that. And I told you, a couple of years ago, it's like, no, Hillary Clinton's a criminal. You don't want her in the presidency because she's psychotic. I didn't go into a lot of detail about some of the things that I've found out about her and what they're doing with the global charity fraud, the Clinton Foundation, and the harm that they've done in the guise of help with Haiti, and like how they took all this money from a company in Russia as bribes and then hid it on the private servers, and then she should have been in Leavenworth a long time ago. That's a prison, okay, for government and military people. But anyway, so that's starting to come out, but what you're getting in the mainstream is now they're going to throw her under the bus because they're actually protecting other people. Well, it's going to get really messy over the next year. So watch the mess, try to stay out of it a little bit, and recognize that your savings and the legacy that you've been building is attached to a huge criminal organization that is about to go down. And if you can diversify and spread out your wealth, then you're more likely to survive if something does go awry. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying panic. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, store some food, do this. It's a good idea to have some food just in case something happens, but business as usual, be prepared. That's all it is. Just be prepared in case something happens, have a backup plan, but just business as usual, and don't get crazy with it. Because I've been looking at crazy stuff for the last 10 years and none of it's happened yet. So it's fine, but it's still business as usual. Be prepared. Have some Bitcoin. Grow your own financial independence. And thanks for watching.